guys, this is a quick Rickshaw's kitchen. Here's what I call the end result right now, and I'll tell you what I did. And this is something my kids go nuts over. Everybody likes it here. So what I do is I took some kielbasa, threw it in a pan, started to cook that so that it puts some of the fat down in the bottom of the pan. Then I sliced up a couple of hot red onions, threw that in there. I threw in a small pepper, not a bell pepper, but one of those little red ones. Not hot though, not a spicy one. And then I took, just to give it a little flavor, I took a small tomato, de-seeded and de-peeled, and I threw that in there and I let that cook. I let it cook until the edges of the veggies started getting brown. Then I went ahead on everybody else's section, not mine. I threw some cheddar cheese that we get here. It's cheese. It's actual cheese. There's only one that I've found. The rest of them is who knows what it is here in the Philippines. But then I do that, and then I take the eggs and I crack them up high, and I let them drop into the pan so that they bust. You can see they busted there. And then I put this pan is absolutely worthless. It's one of these stoneware, that they foisted on us, saying it's all so wonderful. Yeah, bull crap. The only thing it's good for here is a lid, and I keep it in case if there's a cat in here so I could clobber them. And I don't want any cats on my stuff. Right now, the way it is in this house, I hate it. I have to, anytime I go to do anything, I got to wipe everything down because the cats are up on the counters and stuff. So we're using bleach water and wiping everything down. I, for one, was never one to eat where people had cats in their house. I remember visiting lots of people, and as soon as you walk in the door, you smell the cats and pawing in a shit pot. Well, I'm not eating there, guys. Sorry. We just ate. We just ate. That's just what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. After we eat breakfast, I'm going to do some more about cheese and about what we found in the pizza places while we're here. So here we go. Hey guys, we finished our omelet a while back, and we have a beautiful day on the 22nd of March today. Beautiful clouds way over there. They're moving along. They seem to be moving pretty quickly in the sky. So since I was doing omelet and cheese, I wanted to talk about pizza places here. I know Tropical Tim did a thing on the Army Navy, and I really liked that. But places that you go are hit and miss. It depends on who's running it. His Army Navy, when he showed his video of the food there, I was just disgusted. I'd have brought it back. Morning. So, it's just crazy how they do it. Now, I've been to an Army Navy where we've been to a good one. The one up by Amos was a good one. The food was cooked well, and it depends on who runs it. Now, one place, though, it doesn't seem to matter who runs it because we tried 3 different ones, was Shakey's Pizza. Now, we went... when I first got here and got one, it was absolutely miserable. I don't believe their ingredients are food. They got these nature identical ingredients, and I don't know what that cheese is supposed to be, but it's not fit for human consumption. All 3 of them we've been to. You leave it out here in the little dog food bowls. The dogs don't touch it, and they come and sniff it and walk away. Flies don't even land on it, guys. That was something my grandpa taught me when I was in. I believe it was middle school, and they gave us a stick of oleomargarine to take home and try. Because everybody was eating butter, and this is better for you. And he took that and he said, "Don't you dare eat that, boy." And he cut a chunk of it off with his jackknife and set it on a saucer, and he went and got a piece of butter and put it on another little saucer. And the flies were on the butter. The bugs got to it. Gnats got stuck in it. They were having a feast on this thing. The margarine sat there, and nothing touched it. Another thing to watch out for here, even though I'm getting off of pizza a little bit, I took the kids up to San Jose, and it was a hot day like today. I'm already starting to sweat. And we got one of them Nutty Buddy ice cream bars, and little Moo, the top of it fell off. He gets a little animated when he's happy, and the top fell off into the dirt with the nuts on it and all that stuff. Well, he lost it. So that's just what happened. Well, we were sitting there for a good while waiting for Mama to get out of the market, and I looked over there after 10 minutes, and that thing still, it never melted. It still looked just like when it fell down. So, watch what you're eating here. This nature identical foods are not nature identical. They may look like it. They're identical in looks, but they're not identical in composition. There's just nothing but chemicals. So be careful a lot of the ice creams you buy too. Now, another place we used to go to, I talked about Pasita, and that's what brought this to mind, was they have a Pizza Hut over there. The Pizza Huts here are middle of the road. I'm not sure about the cheese, really. Eden cheese here is not cheese, guys. Don't think it is. A lot of Filipinos will buy food, and they'll buy Minute Maid, and they'll buy Eden cheese, and they think they're eating healthy, and they're not. They're eating chemicals because they don't read the labels. That's kind of a middle of the road. I don't eat it because it's all the gluten in it. But we like pizza, all of us. I like it too. And that's kind of a middle of the road. If you want to get a good pizza here in this country, and I've never got a bad one from them, is go to Yellow Cab. They make some pretty good pizzas. They make some pretty wild ones too. Personally, I think pineapple on a pizza is sacrilege, but hey, it is what it is. This is the Philippines, and they do that in America too, I see. But that's my little thing on the pizzas here, just on my take on it. You ask these people what the ingredients are, and their eyes glass over. If you can get a box, you can actually walk around back to the dumpster and pull out their big boxes that they throw in there and read it. And monosodium dog poopinate and all kinds of cat strand and who knows what else this crap they're putting in there. When you get a list of ingredients, I stopped looking when it's like a mile long. Once that list of ingredients covers half of the box with all this stuff that you can't even pronounce, and you Google it and you start reading what this thing is, it's like, what are they putting that in my food for? It's preservative and all this stuff. I did read an article one time I have a buddy that was a mortician. I believe he went to Haiti to learn his trade, and then he went back to the States, and that's what he was doing. And while he was in class, it was a real good buddy of mine. Knew him for most of my life. And he said that they're not having to put as much preservatives in a body than they used to, just 70, 80 years ago, because all the preservatives that's in the food already, it's in your system. Now, it doesn't preserve your life, but it preserves this bag we're in. We're scooped up from the mud that God made us. This is just a big bag of minerals that we're occupying for the time, but we're much more than that, guys. We're a lot more than that. I do read in the Bible, He knew us before we were born. So just know that. I get a lot of people who comment that are atheists and things like that. Well, that's their religion. Everybody's got a religion of some sort or another. So I just don't buy it. It's the way we roll around here. It's what I'm going to teach my children. We have a creator. And one of the things that you should do is be careful what you put in this body so that you can preserve it. Preserve it with natural things to eat. We're not big on going out. One of my favorite things when I was young to eat was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then when I went out to California, they had Popeyes that I ate one time. I thought that was pretty good. But the thing is, I don't eat that anymore. I read a thing from one of these doctors. He said 40 years after the colonel's dead, he's still killing people. So that was something. Look on to Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden. This is something that I've done. I read all their stuff, watched a lot of their. Glidden does a lot of like podcasts and YouTube videos. Take a look at some of that from Youngevity. I actually, with this stomach thing, I was blaming the Youngevity product. I get the Tangy Tangerine that I was taking every day, and I was thinking that was what was getting me. Well, what happened, somebody said that, there's a expiration date. Well, where it says expiration date on the side of the bottle, it's not there. And then I I'm a label reader, but I never looked at the bottom. And that jar that I never finished, that I do believe was making me sick, it had a little sticker on the bottom with that barcode. I peeled that off. You know, this dang thing they sold me was a year out of date, exactly 1 year out of date. It'd been sitting on a hot shelf somewhere here in the Philippines, and they sold it to me. So I was kind of bummed. That was a different one. There's the main Youngevity one here, Youngevity Philippines, and then there's another one where they sell it, and it was a little bit cheaper, $38.50 instead of $4,000, I think, and I bought that. So then they sent me an old one. Now the other ones I looked at, I have about 5 or 6 canisters of that stuff in here, and their date is way ahead yet. You know, so I started taking that again without any ill effects. I went ahead and on my birthday, I just knocked off no more beer. I was thinking, you know, there's gluten in it, but the problem was, even when I drank a Sapporo, which was a rice beer, no gluten, that I was thinking it was the carbonation giving me the stomach ache. So I did not drink any beer. Doesn't matter who makes it. I just knocked it off since my birthday. My birthday was the last day, and I didn't drink that much. But the next day, my stomach was really rocking me. So I went for a couple weeks, and then we had a little bit of wine left in the fridge, and I had a couple glasses of that. Next day, same thing. So maybe it's the alcohol. I don't know. I remember when my mom was 60, she used to love to drink beer. She always did like gin, but she drank a lot of beer. And when she was 60, she pretty much knocked it off. And I remember, because I went over after her birthday, and I brought her some beer. She liked Busch beer. Brought her a 12-pack of beer and some Limburger cheese and a little small thing of Beefeater's gin. And I was going to go have a Limburger party with her, and she says, "You know, I quit that now. I don't do that anymore." So it sat on her shelf, and years later we nipped a little bit of the gin. She didn't totally quit that, but the beer was over. She put it in the fridge, and whoever came over, she offered it. She says, "I'll save it for you if you want." I said, "No, just give it to whoever comes, you know, whoever wants it." But I'm pretty much off. If I meet, a lot of guys say, "Oh yeah, if I come there, I'd like to meet you and have a beer." Well, I'll have a coffee. I think that's the way I'm going to go. I got this stomach thing is just bad. You know, it caused trouble with my heart. I was there. I was in the States. I got tested. I was there for just about short of 6 months because I had to come back so my visa wouldn't get ruined. Your visa will run out if you stay out of the country more than 6 months. So I was just short of a couple days on my visa. They checked everything. They even gave me a thing that I ate that had a little light. It's this big horse pill, and it went through and it looked at my whole gut. You know, when they take this big thing and shove it up your butt to look at your large intestine, they're only seeing the end of it. They can't go any further, and it's a dangerous thing. And the guy said, "No, we don't do that anymore." And so I swallowed this thing, and it went through and looked, and I don't have celiac or anything like that, but he said your small intestine, you know, get away from the gluten. I did a test where they took a bunch of foods away for 21 days, and then after 21 days, I slowly brought those food in, and when I brought gluten in, I was sick. I mean, it just tore me up, and okay, stop eating that. So I had to quit that. Another thing I found out afterwards was from Carl Only, I believe it was, sent me this thing from some doctor, and it was about the cheese and milk, and I was a big-time milk drinker, and that's why I like pizza so much, what the video was started about today, but that was making a real bad phlegm. I was choking at night. That's gone now, ever since I quit that, and thank you guys for sending me some of that information. I'm glad to see the comments so we can get some discussion going back and forth here. As long as we don't start hating, I'm happy about it, you know, no matter what we talk about. But that helped. But this thing with the heart, doctors came right out, 3 different hospitals. I was Cleveland Clinic, Allegheny Medical Center, and also Parma General. And all of them ran all kinds of tests, plus I brought all the tests from here and brought everything, and they just came out and said, "We have no idea what's causing it." I was telling them it's the stomach. Went to a gastroenterologist. He looked over everything. They tested me. The only thing that they came with that they could find wrong is the one doctor said your prostate is a little enlarged, and that was it. They ran all kinds of tests and everything. He said, "Sorry, you're perfectly healthy." Well, I'm in here. Something's wrong. They scanned me. They did all kinds of stuff. They ran all kinds of tests. I was going down 3, 4, and even 5 days a week for different tests. I was actually confined in Allegheny General for a bit. So, for them to look me over. I got real good insurance, and couldn't find anything. So I'm slowly working it out. I just keep knocking things off that cause me any problems, and alcohol, I believe, was one of them. I did think carbonation will get me. I stopped drinking soda pop and all that stuff years ago. I don't touch it. I don't allow the kids really to have it on just a very rare occasion. When I was a kid, that wasn't something that was around all the time. It was for vacations and special times. That was it. But when you're thirsty, you don't want to be drinking that anyway. Drink some water. My mom was big on you drink some water and make sure it's good, clean water. And here, watch out for that. I did video before about dangers in the Philippines. Make sure if you get a bottled water that it's not opened, because they will come over and just stick a napkin in the end of it or a straw or something, and it's open, and it could be tap water. And again, watch the ice, because this ice machine, no ice machine I have ever seen here or anywhere, it's connected right up to the pipe. One thing they don't use here in the Philippines is copper pipe, which the Romans knew thousands of years ago helped kill bacteria in the water. And they don't use it. I guess they can't get it or something like that. I did talk to a British fellow online that built a house, and he went ahead and he brought in copper pipe. A well-to-do fellow, built a fabulous place, and then sold it and built another one. I believe his place sold for 20 million. So he built a real nice place. But that's what he did in his home country. I always loved when I was in England looking at the houses, all the beautiful brick. A lot of the places were modern. I never saw any bad place. They really keep them up. It was like my walk the other day, and when I went with Tropical Tim down in Tondo, you'd look at the outside. Some of them weren't that nice, but when you got inside, it was fabulous. It was just absolutely fabulous. Well, when I was in England, a lot of places I went, it was both sides, outside and in. The houses were nice. I did notice that the people really keep their yards trimmed up and have beautiful flowers. And I want to do that at my place. I want to slowly but surely. I've never been in a big hurry for that, but that's what we're looking for. I think everybody liked the omelet I made. I hope you liked the looks of that thing and how I make it. I didn't get the camera when I started cooking it. Probably should have, but my editing software takes so long. When I was doing the 3 videos yesterday, the first 2 I did using my brother-in-law's internet service. It took me an hour or so to do the editing and the loading, because I got to load it here and load it there, and it just took forever. There's no Wi-Fi does that. It's the Wi-Fi from the camera to the phone, and then I got to get it to export through the phone and the editing, and I have to use 2 different editing softwares. One of them to connect them together, and then the KineMaster to add the little jingle and the pictures and stuff. And guys know it at the end, even if you don't watch them, scroll all the way to the end, because I put some cool things that I think are cool in the pictures. I try to keep them relevant to the topic I'm talking about, but sometimes not. So just because they're cool pictures. There's my beautiful boy.
Hello.
And we're going to go ahead and shorten this one up. So can you do the exit?
This.
Rickshaw out.
Rickshaw out.
We still got to take apart the trap and find his tooth. So Tooth Fairy's coming to town pretty soon. Yeah, Tooth Fairy here is a generous Tooth Fairy, huh? You like your Tooth Fairy?
You.
Who told you?
No one.
Oh, he just knew, I guess. All right, guys, the Rickshaw. Don't forget to pray for each other. Pray for our leaders. And they do come by. There's our, that one wasn't security, but we have security coming through on a regular basis. We're in the GQCFMZDFY, who knows what, here in our area. I hear Laguna's done it now. They're doing a big push because they want everyone to coerce everyone into taking this vax, and I just don't know. They call it a lot of. I noticed something. They call it a jab now because they don't want to call it a vax, because they know that's not what it is. If you look up definition of a vaccine, this thing that they're putting out is not. It's a gene therapy. So, you want to do the finish?
I'm already 9 years old. Rickshaw out.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next time.